Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, February the 16th, National Almond Day. I absolutely love almonds.
I do too.
I like almonds just by themselves. I like almonds in things.
I do too.
I like them everywhere I've ever had them.
Most kinds of nuts, honestly. I like cashews and...
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I like all of them.
National Do a Grouch a Favor Day. So, what do you want me to do for you?
Wow.
I'm just teasing.
That
She's
was
not a grouch.
uncalled
I was
for.
just being silly. It's also, let's see, Sunday the 17th, National Random Act of Kindness Day. I'm going to have to do something now to make up for what I just said. It's also National Cabbage Day. I like cabbage.
Do you?
I do. Yeah, it's good. I like cabbage.
I really don't. I like coleslaw, but
yeah,
I don't like cooked cabbage. It stinks up the whole house.
It does. When I was a kid, my dad would make sauerkraut. You could smell it 4 blocks away.
My grandparents always made cabbage stew.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not.
It's kind of
it tastes great, but it smells awful.
Well, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk with Tracy McCubbins. Going to be talking about making your space clutter-free. So, for those of you getting ready to do some spring cleaning, it's all on the way.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Time now for surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Survey found that half of parents believe the flu shot will make their children sick, and a third believe it does not work at all. So that survey is apparently not a glowing recommendation for the flu shot. I know people who get the flu shot. I know people who don't get the flu shot, and I'm going to just let you decide what you think about it. I'm not even going to ask Heidi because I know what she thinks.
I know, you know what I think.
We're going to just change the subject now. So, got a feeling she could have been in this survey. We'll put it that way. Going to leave you all hanging there. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out BetterCreditCards.net. That's BetterCreditCards.net. And this is your brain on drugs. A McDonald's customer was arrested after calling police to complain about his Big Mac. It had onions on it.
I could see you doing
No, I wouldn't call the police.
Like
I wouldn't be happy. But he challenged the restaurant manager to a fist fight. 53-year-old Leslie McDonough was visiting a fast food chain in England about 10:30 p.m. on a Friday, and he claimed that he got the wrong meal. I'm not going to eat this. I have a severe allergy to onions. According to McDonough, he had been drinking, by the way, prior to his visit there. Then he threatened to fight the manager. Then he called 911 to report the mixed-up meal.
So he couldn't just say, can I have a different one?
That's
I'm
what you should have done.
onions.
See, there was alcohol in here, Heidi. He was drunk. That's what happened. They asked him to leave. He fell to the floor, grabbed a police officer's leg, rather. I was thinking that they grabbed him to help him, but no, he grabbed the police officer's leg. And as they attempted to stand him up, he spit in the face of the officer. Not a good idea.
Oh, wow.
He was arrested. This is not a good thing. By the way, this is not his first time. He had to plead guilty to assault and being drunk and disorderly public. Second time, at least, that he's got in trouble for this. So, bad idea.
You can't handle your liquor.
Yeah, don't do it. It's a bad plan. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. We've talked a little bit about this. Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club. We talked about the show.
We
where
did.
The plan was, hey, we're going to put Lindsay Lohan on camera. We're going to have her in charge of a bar. We're going to have the booze flowing freely and just let things run amok.
I think it's a really bad idea.
Well, the ratings have dropped 60% because it's not as wild as people were expecting. So people were expecting, oh, this will be a train wreck. Can't wait to see that. So either it's a train wreck and people don't care, or it's not a big enough train wreck. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Singer-songwriter Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams, Ryan Adams. He's been accused of at least 2 decades of sexual misconduct and emotional abuse towards different female musicians, including his ex-wife Mandy Moore. So apparently things aren't going well for him.
I don't know who that is.
Well, I wanted to make sure you know it's not Brian Adams, it's Ryan Adams. So I think Brian is more popular because he's not as mean to the ladies, apparently.
The ladies love Brian Adams.
He's a good guy. He's a cool dude. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patti Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from The Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sinthedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now, your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Led Zeppelin, remember that band? They've been around a long time. They're now partnering with the shoe company Vans to release a 50th anniversary sneaker.
Oh, fun.
So that's kind of cool. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Led Zeppelin is. That's really kind of cool. I remember reading a story, or maybe I heard it on a program. I don't know. They were talking about where the band name Led Zeppelin came from. You know where that came from?
Oh, it's a balloon.
Yeah.
It's going to go over like a Led Zeppelin or
Yeah,
something.
so they were talking about what they were going to do, and it was so different, and somebody said, well, that's going to go over like a Led Zeppelin, so like a lead balloon, and they go, oh, Led Zeppelin, let's do that. I think that's cool. For some reason, they spelled it L-E-D instead of L-E-A-D. Think they're bad spellers?
I think they did that on purpose.
Oh, okay. New Jersey, they're going to be the first state to allow legalized gambling on the Oscars. Gonna put some money down on that guy.
Oh my gosh!
Who do you think's gonna be I don't know, Sam Jackson? Put some money on him. I have no idea. New Jersey's gonna let people do that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you bet on the Oscars? If you're betting on things like the Oscars, you might have a gambling problem. Just saying. A YouTube investigator is accusing. Wait a second. You're not gonna roll through that and pretend like that's a thing, are we? A YouTube investigator? It's just a dude with a camera.
Yeah.
It's just somebody with a smartphone. Well. Air quotes, a YouTube investigator is accusing Chuck E. Cheese of reserving uneaten slices of pizza.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Chuck E. Cheese, by the way, issued a statement denying that they reserve uneaten slices. So this person was at a table and saw another table leave with pizza that was, there, hadn't all been eaten, and he thinks that he caught them taking those uneaten slices and not throwing them away. So I have not seen the video, nor do I care to. Anybody who claims to be a YouTube investigator, I don't know. It's like being an Instagram model. I don't know how that's a thing either.
Don't most people go to Chuck E. Cheese and order a whole pizza? So unless you get a pizza with like 5 different kinds of pizza.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess you can maybe order them by the slice. I have no idea.
I don't know. It's been many years since
Here's a band Heidi knows. We already talked about another band, too. How do I have 2 different bands in here? So we talked about Led Zeppelin. Now we're going to talk about Pet Shop Boys. The new wave band.
The Pet Shop Boys.
They released a YouTube video where they mock people for using social media. That's not a good idea. Come on, guys. Why would you make fun of people for using social media? But
social media has gotten out of control.
It has. You know what else has gotten out of control?
There are many times I think I'm just going to close my stuff down and walk away.
I'm on Twitter, and every time I go on Twitter, I think, I'm going to just take this app off my phone.
It's a huge time waster, and it's
And then Instagram, I was just making fun of that because there are people who are Instagram models. So here's the thing. If people follow our page, then I try to follow them back. So if you're like an Instagram person or a Twitter person or whatever, if you follow us, John and Heidi Show on Instagram, on Twitter it's at Big John Small, because John and Heidi Show doesn't fit. They wouldn't let us. And I'm like, I don't know what else to put. So when people follow us, I follow them back. But there are some accounts that follow us that are kind of like racy things, and so I've unfollowed things because I'll click open my Instagram and there's a picture of somebody with almost no clothes on. I'm like, I don't want to open that with my teenage daughter sitting there, and she'll think I'm a pervert. So if you post stuff like that, I'll probably unfollow you, even if I do follow you because you followed me. You follow me? You know what I mean?
Sure.
BuzzFeed's in the news. Their staff is voting to unionize because they just had a bunch of people get fired there because they're place is like falling apart now.
And of course, they'll unionize.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if they will. I have no idea. A survey by the Bank of New York found that a record 7 million Americans are more than 3 months behind on their car payments.
Whoa.
That's kind of crazy. So, yeah, try to get that all taken care of. And that should have been part of our surveys and studies and such. I don't know how that got here. That's going to do it for today's Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights, and we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirs.taxrelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirs.taxrelief.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're going to visit today with Tracy McCubbin. She's got a new book called Making Space Clutter-Free, the last book on decluttering you'll ever need. Tracy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm looking at my desk that's cluttered up with paper, and I'm thinking I got to spend a little time decluttering.
And the funny thing is, my desk is a big mess right now. It's not usually this bad, but it's a big mess because I kind of just scooped everything into a pile and said, I'm dealing with that today. So I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it's all there, and hopefully by the end of the day it'll be all cleared off. So we're not quite to spring yet, as much as some people are praying for it with the cold weather that's kind of been in some parts of the country. So as we get close to spring and people start thinking of spring cleaning, what are some tips that you could give to kind of help people maybe get rid of some of that clutter in their life?
You know, I love spring cleaning exactly for this fact, because we're on the other side of winter. And I always tell people, use that seasonal benchmark to look back and say, okay, what coat or coats did I not wear all winter? What snowshoes did the kids outgrow? What sled broke? You know, use moving into spring as a chance to look back at the stuff that didn't get used all winter. And instead of storing it for another year and bringing it out and not using it again another year, use this as a great chance to declutter it.
That is a great idea. I see Chapter 3 says how to listen to your clutter room by room. That hopefully doesn't mean I have so much clutter it's falling down and making noise. I bet it means something else, doesn't it?
It does. What I always like to tell people is, you know, there's things going on in every room. You know, if your office is crowded, oftentimes I see people, you know, not wanting to deal with their paperwork, or maybe their finances aren't quite where they want them, or, you know, if a kitchen is just jumbled up and so much stuff all over the counter that maybe people aren't eating healthy. So I always think that your clutter is a little bit of a roadmap into maybe some other places in your life that you're stuck.
You know, and I've talked to a health coach that was saying the same thing. He said, what happens in one area of your life most of the time pours into other areas of your life. So I think that's kind of the same thing that you're saying, that if we've got clutter in one area, there's probably other effects that's going to have on the rest of our life, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the first thing I ask people when I go in who have a really cluttered bedroom is, how are you sleeping? Do you have insomnia? Usually my people with really cluttered bedrooms are dealing with sleep issues. So, which, you know, also lead to bigger worry and anxiety, and sometimes that's tied into maybe the financial thing. So there's, you know, our home is a real representation of how we live our lives and what's making us happy and what's making us stressful. And so I think it's a great, you know, more than just decluttering so that it looks perfect and it's, you know, the pages of a magazine, or you're going to put it up on Pinterest. It's really a chance for you to see where possibly you're stuck in some areas of your life and maybe not living exactly the way you want to be.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about a program on Netflix called Tidying Up, and this program has gotten a lot of people to kind of say, you know what, I need to do this. As people are doing this, though, there's got to be kind of a plan, because if you do it the wrong way, you're going to have regrets and you're going to have problems. So since you've literally written the book on this subject, Making Space Clutter-Free, the last book on decluttering you'll ever need, in addition to getting your book, what are some other tips that maybe people can keep in mind as they delve into, you know, diving onto this clutter monster and you know, slaying it once and for all?
You know, here's the thing. I love that show, and I think that she's starting a great conversation, and I think that the idea of everything in your house should bring you joy is fantastic. But for some people, and look, I've been doing this for 12 years. I have thousands of clients under my belt. sometimes the just simple, does this make me happy, isn't enough for most people. We imbue our stuff with a lot of emotions, right? They're the sentimental things that the turkey hand our kids made in school or something our grandmother left us. So sometimes it's not just as easy as, does this make me happy? So I always invite people to look at some of the real things that are going on underneath why you have so much clutter, right? Is your closet stuffed because you have clothes for 3 different sizes of you, right? Well, I got to keep that in case I get fat again. And, well, what if I lose weight again? Then I can fit into that again. And, so what you're doing is you're having a closet stuffed full of clothes that just make you feel bad about your weight. So I always try and tell people to really have the stuff for the life that you're living in that moment.
Have you been looking in my closet, Tracy? No, I think that's something that's pretty common, honestly. I've had weight fluctuation personally, and I have clothes that don't fit because they're too big now, and I have clothes that don't fit because they're too small, and I'm in the middle, and I'm hopefully going down and not up. But, it's one of those things where I don't have closets and closets and closets full. I have some stuff in a closet, but I know I've seen it to the extreme. I've got a friend that talked about how their kids have moved out, and now, they're empty nesters, and they have the kids' closets filled with clothes and shoes and stuff as well. And I'm just thinking, wow, how many clothes does one person need,
Well, interesting, John, that you say that. We only wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time.
Wow.
So I like to do a little trick where I take the clothes in my closet and I turn them backwards on the hangers so that instead of facing out, they're facing the other way. And then as soon as I wear something, and I put it back, I turn it around to really see how much I'm actually wearing. And, by golly, if you don't, you wear 20%. We don't wear near as many clothes as we think we do. And so that's just another way that we're our space is just filled up with clothes that we never wear. Well, and what I always say to people about the clothes that you're going to lose weight and fit into, you're going to be so excited by the time that you lose weight, you're going to want to treat yourself and buy some new clothes. So you're not going to wear the old stuff anyway.
See, that's an even better goal to say, hey, now it's time to go shopping. Again, our guest today has been Tracy McCubbin. Now, Tracy, thank you very much for taking time to chat. I'm going to put a link on our show notes page to your book so people can get it. Thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. And tackle that desk today.
As soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to do that.
Great.
Again, the book is called Making Space Clutter-Free, the last book on decluttering you'll ever need. I'll throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Garlic actually attracts vampires. Well, not real vampires, but close. An experiment found that leeches, they like blood too, they'll attach themselves to a hand smeared with garlic in 14.9 seconds compared to 44.9 seconds with a hand that has no garlic. So if you're trying to keep the real life bloodsuckers at bay, garlic is probably not your answer. So, hand smeared in garlic, 14.9 seconds. Without garlic, 44.9 seconds.
Who cares?
Just in case you want to know.
Who purposely goes where there's a lot of leeches?
Maybe you don't purposely, but if you happen to, have to for your job or something, I don't know. I don't
have to for your job.
I don't know.
What kind of a job have you
like
got?
A leech person, a leech collector. I have no idea.
A leech collector.
I don't know if that's a thing. Probably not. It's like an Instagram model. It's made up. I'm just being silly, by the way, because I read a story about somebody who was an Instagram model. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a job. I've seen people do that, but apparently it is. It's a big deal, and I am way out of touch. This has definitely been your fun fact for this weekend.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patty Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from The Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sinthedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now, fear this, it's fun with phobias. Agalophobia, A-G-L-I-O phobia, agalophobia, or agilophobia. I don't know how you would say that. What do you think it is?
Agilophobia.
Agilophobia? Or aglophobia, aglio. It's a fear of pain. I'm going to quit saying it, because a fear of pain. I would have never guessed that.
No, me neither.
I would have thought it was something else, but agliophobia, fear of agriculture? I don't know. But it's a fear of pain.
See, I was thinking it would be associated to the word agile.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Which is like an older person who's active, right?
Oh, yeah, you'd think so, because they don't have a fear of pain. So maybe it's the opposite. I don't know.
Huh.
This is today's Fun with Phobias.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the Weird Gift of the Day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. It was like a scene out of a bank heist movie. Not a good one, but kind of like a scene out of one of those. A lone man brandishing a handgun walked into a Banger Savings Bank located in Maine. This happened on a Tuesday morning. He robbed the bank, then he fled. And nobody could have predicted what happened next. What do you think happened next, Heidi?
I do not know.
You should have defied me by guessing. You
What
didn't.
happened next, John?
Well, you were supposed to guess. He ran across 4 lanes of traffic on Main Street, and he went into the Mingley restaurant parking lot, and he slipped on some ice. Then when he stood up, he was face-to-face with a special agent for the Computer Crimes Task Force. So he slipped on the ice, stood up right next to a police officer. He just robbed a bank. How crazy is that? So it's kind of one of those right place, right time things. Glenn Lang had no idea a bank had just been robbed, but was suspicious. Got out of his vehicle, tackled the man, because he saw him running and then falling on the ice. He tackled the man and took him into custody just in time for the city police to respond to the reported bank robbery. He was a 37-year-old man by the name of Jason McEnroth. He was arrested on charges of robbery and terrorizing, and also on a probation hold. So he's in a little bit of trouble. Not a good thing.
Jason.
Don't do none of that stuff. With all that stuff I just said, don't do none of it. It's your weird news, though. Brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Hey, listen to this. For the second time in as many weeks, a Florida man was arrested for battering a woman with a burrito. At first, I thought it meant was the same guy, but it was 2 different guys, both from Florida. Both got in a fight, and they ended the fight by smacking their spouse with a burrito. That is a bizarre thing to do. Wouldn't you say?
It is a very bizarre thing to
Up
do.
until this, like last week when this happened, second time in as many weeks, I had never heard of anybody beating somebody with a burrito. But twice
Clearly,
now. In 2
burritos
weeks.
need to be banned.
Yeah, ban the burrito bandits. I don't know. It's a bad idea. This happened in Port Richey, where Peter Alacqua got into an argument with his girlfriend, and it ended when she called 911 because not only did he push her down in the bedroom, but he also struck her with a burrito, and there were burrito mess all over her when the police got there. The dude split. He got the heck out of there. The police tracked him down and finally did arrest him. So
Who eats a burrito in the bedroom?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense either. This
You don't
whole
take
story
messy
sounds
foods
weird.
like that into the bedroom.
No. Keep the burritos out of the bedrooms. And also, don't assault people with a burrito. It's a bad idea. This is definitely some bizarre stuff. And it's today's moment of duh. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out BetterCreditCards.net. That's BetterCreditCards.net. Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? Lifesavers. You like those? Know what
I
those
do.
are? They're good, aren't they? Yeah. Toilet paper and film.
Film. Like film for a camera?
Yeah. Don't see much of that anymore because, now you don't have film in a digital camera. If you know the answer, ladies and gentlemen, shout it out. Yes! Good job, Heidi.
Thank you.
Lifesavers, toilet paper, and film. They all come in rolls. You are good. She's getting really good at this game. It's been fun.
And if you really want to, you can wipe your butt with all of them.
Wait, no, you... That was not the answer.
If you're in a pinch.
Lifesavers, really? I don't think so.
Like, take them out of the roll.
Yeah, just...
And the gummy ones preferably would
You
be
were
better
doing
because
so
they're
good.
softer.
You were doing
Be
so
less
good.
abrasive.
A moment ago, people thought you were a genius. And then they kept
I
listening.
don't think anybody ever thought that.
Like, Heidi's so bright. She figured it out instantly. Way to go, Heidi. We got some good news to get to. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is some good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.net. Do you like the good news, Heidi?
I do. I absolutely love the
I
good
do,
news.
too.
You ask me that every day, and yes, I still love the good
Do you want
news.
me to tell you why I do that, by the way?
Why?
Because this computer is so slow. I should start
You're
getting...
just stalling for time.
I am,
aren't you?
yes. I don't care if you like this or not. I'm going to do it either way. No, I do care that you like it. I think that's really cool. But since we had Valentine's Day this last week, this is the story that I want to read. The site that I get this stuff from, it's called the Good News Network, and they have 950 ads on their page. So it takes forever for this thing to load. And I might have rounded up a little bit. But here's the headline. Man has been delivering hundreds of roses to widows, military wives, and single women on Valentine's Day. How cool is this? Valentine's Day may be a romance for some, but for others, it might be a reminder of loneliness. That's why Seth Stewart has spent the last 7 years making sure that local widows and single women and military spouses in the Spokane, Washington area are not forgotten during the holiday. Every morning on Valentine's Day, Mr. Stewart and his brothers deliver single red roses to the homes of women who have lost their spouse or significant other has been deployed overseas. 28-year-old Stewart keeps a list of all the women and mothers in his area who he delivers to every year. In the weeks leading up to the holiday, he asks Facebook readers to send him additional names of people who might need a pick-me-up, and he adds to the list. What a cool, awesome, amazing idea. He says he and his brothers generally deliver somewhere between 400 to 500
That is so
free roses.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. It says every
Those
single
boys
year.
were raised right.
Absolutely. It says every single year we do this, and there's always one or two women who break down sobbing because it means so much to them. If you'd like to nominate somebody to be a part of this, there's a website that they have you can go to. I've got a link to it in our show notes here. I think this is such a cool idea. I think it's a very cool idea.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
I've got a link to that in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.